Hello, I am Josiah Panjata, and this is my final video practicum for EXS 318. The client that I have today is Abigail Panjata. As you can see, she did answer yes to some of the questions on the PERQ, which causes a bit of a concern, but she has been cleared by a physician, so we went ahead and put her through. She has 2 jobs. She works at a fast food restaurant, and she works at a job stacking fiberglass. This job causes her to do repetitive movements. Her hobbies are drawing, and the only surgery she has was having her wisdom teeth removed. Alright, so getting on to this assessment, we have static posture. As you can see from her static posture, we can see her feet turn out, which is going to be our main focus for this video. From the lateral view, you can see a little bit of a low back arch, and then from the posterior view, we can see again those feet turn out, and then we're just going to move right along to overhead squat. You do 5 reps from each view, the anterior view, lateral view, and posterior view. For this video, we're just going to show you 3 reps from that anterior view. Alright. And then we're just going to move on to the pictures. So here's the first picture from the anterior view. We can see those feet turn out, as well as the knees move inward. And then from the lateral view, you can see that her knees are over her toes. And then she has an excessive forward lean, and there's a little bit of a low back arch. From the posterior view, you can see her feet are turned out, and then she also has that low back arch. And then we're going to move on to our second assessment, which is the single leg squat. For this, you do 5 from the anterior view and 5 from the posterior. For this video, we're only going to show you 1 from the anterior, and then we'll show you the pictures as well. Alright, so here's that first picture from the anterior view. From this view, you can see that her foot is turned out, as well as her knee moves inward a little bit. You can see she has a little bit of a hip hike. And then moving on to that posterior view, you can see she has a little bit of that forward lean, as well as her foot turning out. And then moving right along to the range of motion. For the range of motion, we tested ankle dorsiflexion, hip extension, and knee extension. For this video, we're going to show you the ankle dorsiflexion. And then for this video, the stationary arm is on the lateral aspect of the fibula. The mobile arm is at the midline of the 5th metatarsal. And then the axis of rotation is directly below the lateral malleolus. And then we're just going to have her move her foot forward, like we did in the video. And then after you're finished with the range of motion test, we have the manual muscle test. We have the anterior tibialis, the gluteus medius, and the adductor complex. is what we tested. But for the video, we are going to show you the gluteus medius assessment. So for this assessment, we are just going to have our client lay on the side. We are going to have her hip extended slightly, as well as her knee extended. And then we are just going to apply downward force on that leg. And for the assessment. And then here's just a little overview of our client. The range of motion we tested, ankle dorsiflexion. The normal is 20 degrees. She tested 25. Hip extension is 0 to 10 degrees. She got 20. For her knee extension, normal is 20 degrees, and she only got 15. And then for our manual muscle test, for the anterior tibialis, she was able to resist my movement, so she got a grade 3. For the medius as well, she resisted my movement, so that's also a grade 3. And the adductor complex is a grade 3 as well, because she was able to resist that movement. And then after going through the range of motion in manual muscle test, we have the Continuum phase, the 4 phases, which is the first is the inhibit phase, which is done by self-myofascial release, or we use a foam roller. This is done to release tension and deactivate that overactive muscle. And then we have the lengthening phase. This is done by static stretching or the neuromuscular stretching, or PNF. And then we have the activation phase. This is done by positional isometrics and isolated strengthening. This is done to activate those weak or underactive muscles. And then finally we have the integration phase, which is a total body movement to solidify the changes that we made. So moving on to the first category, inhibit. Here are the probable overactive muscles. We have the gastrocnemius, biceps femoris, adductor complex, and the tensor fascial latae, or the TFL. And then for the video that we're going to show is the gastrocnemius. For this, you do 1 set. You just roll out that whole calf muscle, and then when you hit the point of tension, you'll just hold it for 30 seconds. And then you'll move on to the lengthening phase. The probable overactive muscles is again that gastroc, the soleus, biceps femoris, adductor complex, and then the TFL, or the tensor fascial latae. So the video that we're going to show is the soleus. For this movement, we're just going to put our hands up against the wall, have that leg bent backwards, just to isolate the soleus. You'll do 1 set of 30 seconds. And then after you're done with that, you'll move on to the activation phase, which is done by positional isometrics. And then the muscles we tested is a posterior tibialis, anterior tibialis, and that medial hamstrings. For the video, we're going to show the anterior tibialis. For this one, we're going to have the client laying supine. We're going to have her move her foot into dorsiflexion and inversion, and then we're going to do 4 sets of 25% intensity, 50% intensity, 75% intensity, and finally 100% intensity. And for the video, that was only the 25%. And then after you're done with that, you'll just move on to the final phase, which is the integration phase. The 3 integration movements that we did was the wall bar squat, step up to balance, and the single leg balance reach. Although for the video, we're going to show you the wall bar squat. So for this video, we are just going to put the ball up against the wall, and then we are going to have her squat like normal, just to get the feel of the perfect squat form. For this, you're going to do 1 set of 10 to 15 reps. And then finally, after you have gone through the continuum phases, here is just 1 set of the overhead squat to show you the final product. And then here are my references. Thanks for watching.